Welcome back to a new video, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to tackle the question as to why so many home buyers are not getting it right in this moment. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why, and we're going to have a conversation in the comments below. Let's get into the video. All right, before we jump into the video, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Raymond Riley Jr., and I am a real estate broker here in Atlanta, Georgia. I work with buyers and sellers that are looking to buy or sell a property here in Atlanta, preferably, but I can work with you anywhere in the entire state of Georgia. All of my contact information is on the screen below, as well as in the description. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any real estate concerns as it relates to buying and selling in the state of Georgia. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and have this conversation as to why so many home buyers are just not getting it right now in this moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the video, let me just give you my objective. My objective is to give you my 3 reasons why so many home buyers are squandering this moment in time. The video is just to give you these things. If you're on that fence, if you're one of those people, I just want to give you an outlet to or something to think about. 3 things to think about, and then we're gonna have a conversation in the comments below. I'm not afraid of conversation. I'm not afraid of commentary. Let's have it, because I think that in turn it will help someone in a peculiar situation that is on the fence trying to make that decision. Also, let me say this. Everyone's situation is different. I always want every single person that I work with or that comes in contact with my content by way of YouTube or anything, I want you to always understand that your situation varies from other people. What I consider to be a buyer is someone that is willing, able, and ready to buy. So if you're not willing, able, and ready to buy, you're technically not a buyer by definition. So this video is really not for you. But if you are willing, ready, and able, I want to give you 3 reasons that you should not squander this moment. Let's do it. All right, so I also want to set up I got something else I want to say. Number 1, this video, I hope that by the time I'm done with it, I hope it don't sound like a rant. I'm trying not to. I don't want to be preaching to anyone, but let me say this. In 2000, if you were one of these people in 2020, 2021, and 2000 first quarter, second quarter, 22, if you were in the market in that time and you're not out here looking for homes right now, this video is for you, because you were the people that would call me literally begging to buy a house, just have an opportunity to buy a home. I just want to buy a home. I can't, literally in tears, some people, right? Because it was such a rough time. And I'm not trying to downplay it or be comical about it. I'm just trying to paint the narrative that I want you to understand, that so many of these same home buyers right now that are in comments and DMs and, you know, becoming statistical analysts overnight are saying why this is such a horrible time to buy. But you were the same person that was crying to buy a home 1, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Anyway, I digress. But let's talk about, but I just want to identify who I'm talking to. You're one of those people that I'm talking to if the shoe fits, right? Let's go ahead and jump into it though. The first reason that I think some home buyers, or so many home buyers, are wasting this moment is as follows: hoping for a crash in the near term. That's the number 1 reason. I just went straight to it. Hoping that there's going to be a crash in the near term. Any statistical analyst with any, background will tell you that there will not be a price reduction beyond like 75,000 plus in home valuations. So if you're waiting for those big drops, those, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 just shift in the market, it's not happening. You're gonna see price reductions. Yes, I will give you that. You're gonna see price reductions, 5,000, 10,000, maybe even 25,000, maybe 30. But here's what I will say to those. those are gonna be anomalies. They're gonna be one-offs. That's not gonna be a consistent trend forever. What you're seeing price correction from those individuals that were immediately already overpriced when they entered the market. So they're trying to correct. If you pull reports right now for the last 7 to 14 days, you'll see a dramatic drop in price reductions here, at least in my market, in the Atlanta Metro. And the reason for that is a lot of those homes have already made their price adjustments, and new inventory is keeping up, right? They're selling. New inventory is selling every single day, right? Days on market is creeping up. But for the most part, if the home is move-in ready in a good area, it's gonna be sold very aggressively. There are still situations where they're competing offers, right? I mean, everywhere is not corrected or balanced. So you have to understand that as well. So with that being said, if you're looking for a crash in the near term, you're gonna be waiting for a long time. Let me give you some more stats real quick. There will not be a bottoming out of pricing nowhere near in the near term, all right? Being a YouTuber, I understand the algorithms here on YouTube. At least I'm learning, right? I don't think anyone fully understands or knows fully. We're all working it out, right? We're all trying to stay in that algorithm flow. But here's what you gotta understand, guys. There's a such thing as clickbait. And people want you to tune into those videos because it's predatory, okay? It's predatory in a way. There will not be a crash, and there will not be a bottoming, okay? Because you gotta understand, a crash happens for a while. It don't, it's not like a car accident. The housing market is not like a car crash where it's like, boom, your car is totaled in like 5 seconds. That's not how the housing market is gonna crash. Let me just say this. It took 5 years from 2004, right? The last housing crash started in 2004. It peaked, okay, in 2006. Second quarter, I think third quarter, fourth quarter, 2006. By 2007, it was going the other way. It was starting to shift, right? It did not bottom out until 2012. That's 5 years, okay? So there will not be a bottoming in the near term. And I think that's why so many people, so many agents always keep telling people there's not gonna be a crash. And what we mean by, what some agents should say is that there will not be a bottoming of that market crash for like the next 5 years based on history, okay? Now, this could be different, but I don't see it because the makings are just different, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind. So if you're waiting for the near-term market crash, that's why you're waiting, you're squandering this moment right now that you have, all right? Now, what moment do you have? Good question. We're gonna talk about it right here. If you're liking this video, go ahead and hit the like button and hit that subscribe button over there somewhere. There you go. Cost you nothing. Become a part of my family here on YouTube. Learn more about Atlanta, Georgia, and living in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as the surrounding suburbs, okay? I consider myself kind of a suburban realtor right now. I do in-town deals, but majority of my content and majority of my sales are suburban. In my opinion, it gives you a very well-rounded. I am an Atlanta native. I was born in the city of Atlanta. I went to Atlanta public schools. I lived my whole adolescence in the city limits of Atlanta. As I became an adult, I moved to the suburbs. So I feel that I'm very well-versed, well-rounded, literally. But anyway, I digress. Become a part of my YouTube family. Hit that subscribe button. Let's move on to the second reason I think that so many buyers are just screwing up this moment. And that is missing the value of a balanced market. Understand that a balanced or a balancing market is advantageous for a buyer. I will repeat that. A balancing or balanced market is advantageous for a buyer, or more advantageous than where we just came from. We just came from a pure, straight to the point seller's market. No chaser. Straight to the head. No chaser. It was a seller's market. Sellers were in demand, and if you were selling something, I don't care if it was a shoebox with 2 windows, it was gonna sell with multiple offers. But no, seriously, we just left we're leaving a pure seller's market. So as a buyer that was crying foul and that was just going through hell to buy a home in 2020, 2021, first, second quarter, 2022, and still was unsuccessful, all of those tries, and you telling me now you're gonna repeat what these YouTube people talking about? Come on, give me a break. Anyway, all right, for real, before I become a rant, every buyer should want this type of market right now, especially if you've lived through that. You should be taking advantage of this balancing market. You should be taking advantage of the ability to negotiate now, because in the seller's market, you want it or you don't. If you don't, I know about 15 people that do, right? A balancing market is where you can actually kind of, if you have a good agent, you should be able to steal that thunder. You should be able to come in guns a-blazing and take that attention and that momentum in your favor and almost get just about 70 to 80% of any property that you want. Those odds are more favorable. So why would you squander that moment right now? All right, so just understand that that's one of the second reasons why I think right now buyers are just wasting this moment, because they're not understanding their actual value in this market. They're only looking at the negative, which is, okay, the interest rates are high. They're higher, yes, they are higher than you had an opportunity to buy in 2022 or 2021, 2020. Yeah, they are higher, but are they just abnormally high, double digits, like never seen before? No, that's not it. So you have to get over that, and you have to understand that if you need a place to live and you are willing, ready, and able, you better buy now, because if you don't, interest rates are gonna continue to go up. New video comment about that. The chairman, Jerome Powell, I think that's his name, yeah. Jerome Powell just literally did a press conference about the fact that, hey, there's gonna be some pain. We gotta continue to stay the course. Their job with the Fed is to fight inflation. Their job is not to help buyers buy houses. They don't care about the housing market. Their fiduciary obligation is not to the housing market. So the reality is the rates are gonna continue to go up. So if you don't buy in the near term, you're gonna be wherever you're gonna be on interest when you decide to, I guess, seize the moment. So just kind of understand that. Take advantage of the balancing market, because it is truly in your favor. Let's move on to the third thing that I think most buyers need to understand right now in order to get the benefits of this moment. All right, so this one here is kind of weird, but it's FOMO, basically. Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out that if I buy now, if I buy now and the prices go down, I just won't be able to live with myself, right? Well, if you don't buy now and the prices don't go down, but the interest rates go up, how are you gonna feel then? Right? Because you gotta realize, guys, that there's a pro and con to everything. There's not only just pros or only cons to any decision. So you have to look at it in the totality. And the only thing you can assert as 100% with 100% certainty is what you know in the moment. You can't read the future. Now, we can allow trends, we can allow analysts that try to project and try to predict the future by various models and things that they use to try to get as close to an estimation as to what will transpire as possible. I think there's benefits there. I think that everything is uniquely in its place, but you gotta be careful to understand, or be careful with the future decisions, or basing your right now decision on a future action. It could go either way, right? And so right now is all you know, which is interest rates are still right now fairly low compared to where I think we will wind up in the near term. I think in the near term, within the next 6 months, I think rates are gonna be on average. Right now, we go from a low 5 if you're prime to like a high 5 if you're, you know, not quite that prime on your credit score. But just about anybody right now should be they should be under 6% for the most part, on average. In about 6 months, that's not going to be the case. I think we're going to be 6.5, 7 is going to be about the average, in my opinion, in order to get the rate of inflation down. So many people are talking about with Joe Biden releasing or forgiving the student loan debt. They're talking about how that is going to maybe change the inflation rate, because now these people are going to take that money that they, you know, already didn't have and spend it somewhere else, they say. But I'm happy he did it. $10,000, you know, I likely won't qualify, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, guys, I think that the fear of missing out on cheaper prices or buying a home now and the prices falling, that is all based on a opinion or a prediction, and that's not a fact. So you have to base your decisions on real life tangible things right now, which is interest rates are still favorable to where, you know, you should be good to go, better than you will be in the future. Also, I want to give you one last thing to think about with this fear of missing out, right? So if let's play with it for a minute. If you buy now with a 5.5% interest rate, we'll just say middle of the road, and you bought the house for $200,000, right? We'll just say $300,000, because $200 is going to be hard to find just about anywhere unless you're in a very desolate place. You buy the house for $300,000 at 5.5% interest rate. Now, if you say, well, I'll wait and let the price fall. Now the prices fell, and now that same house is, let's just say, $290 or $280, right? But the interest rate is at that time 6.87%. The amount of savings now, and also you are mortgaging this property. You're not paying cash. Okay, that's a very key component of this whole housing market phenomenon crashing thing. If you don't have cash, you don't have nothing. I'm just putting it out there. If you do not have cash and you're sitting here waiting on the housing market crash, you are an idiot. Because here's why. Well, man, you shouldn't say that. You should not say that. That's not very smart of you. Okay, and here's why I say that's not very smart of you. Because if you don't have the cash, you're leveraging it, which means now, based on what we're seeing from the Fed, you're gonna pay more on that money, on that mortgage, than you would if you were to buy today. Even with the cost savings, until you pay the house off, you don't see the $20,000 or $30,000 discount. You don't see that if you were to wait for the market to go south, if it does. You don't see that until you pay the house off, but you're stuck at a mortgage rate that is higher now because you waited, because you was, you know, you and all your people was talking about how you're gonna get the house for free if you wait a few more. Stop. If you're gonna get the house for free if you wait a little bit longer, right? And so you really don't save anything. If anything, you now put yourself in a higher interest rate. You maybe got a cheaper property. You may did that. But if you don't pay it off, you don't see the benefit of that savings. Do you follow me? Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. But I did want to do this video because I think it's so very important that people understand where we are, which is you buyers right now, man, you have a unique opportunity to be super, super duper aggressive when it comes to negotiations. This is what you should be wanting. Like, this is what so many buyers have waited for, which is a cooling of this market, the shifting of this market, more balancing, ability to negotiate, ability to actually find a home. Prices are still elevated. Do you think they're gonna come down a little bit? Time will determine that. But I do not see a significant drop in pricing. I just don't see it. I see a true hibernation of pricing. I think the prices are gonna be just like Cardi B. They're gonna be up and they stuck. They're gonna be up and stuck for a minute. I truly believe that. I really do. I do think that you're gonna see opportunity here and there, but in the near term, you won't see a major shift, but you will see the ability to get more in your transaction. Closing costs. longer due diligence period, longer finance and appraisal contingency, not having these transactions so compressed that you can't even breathe because, you know, if one day, you know, some of my clients will, if you've worked with me, drop a comment below and tell people what your transaction was like. Like literally my last closing, my clients, they were the bomb. Carlos and Glenn was the bomb. Literally, we closed it in 24-day transaction. The transaction itself under contract from the time we went binding to the time we closed was 14 days, give or take, maybe 13. But the whole transaction for us was 24 days from the time we did our initial consultation to the time they actually got possession of the property. So, you know, you don't have to be that condensed and that aggressive. You can kind of cool your jets a little bit. So, you know, great opportunity, man. Don't squander this moment like so many buyers are doing right now. And I think they're doing it on the backs of some of these YouTubers and the media. Oh, that's the last thing I want to say. Last thing I want to say is be careful of what you take in from media, whether that's social media here on YouTube or the news. When the news anchors and CNN and Fox and all of the, let me not do the names, maybe that's not a good idea, but all of the mainstream media companies, when they said, breaking news, there's a gas shortage that's gonna be sweeping the nation. What happened? Less than 3 days later, there was no gas in the whole country. There's a shortage of toilet paper, you know, all of the toilet paper was gone, you know. So I say that to say this: media has a way of creating narratives and making that narrative a reality, and that's psychological. It is you have to just be careful with it. And I'm not saying that media is bad or the news is bad and you shouldn't follow, you shouldn't watch. I would say you gotta, just like I started this video out, you have to make the decision that's right for you in your life in that moment. You can't allow me, news, YouTube, anyone else to make that decision for you. You have to understand how to make it for yourself. But the best thing you can do is understand that there's a pro and a con to everything, and all of the naysayers of this, you shouldn't do anything in this market, you gotta weigh the other side of it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. I think this week we're gonna be heading north of Atlanta Metro. So definitely hit that like button and the subscribe button if you wanna see more northern suburbs on the channel. They are coming. We had a good week last week down in Locust Grove on the last few uploads. So if you have not seen that content, go ahead and hit the channel and go watch Locust Grove. So yeah, go watch, check out Locust Grove. It is a beautiful little place to live and to call home. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks for watching the video and I'll see you on the next one.